Hi, James here, and welcome to Contingency Now's YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about business continuity planning, BCP, as it relates to return on investment, or ROI. So the big question that is out there in business continuity land and risk management land is there an ROI in BCP? Now, there's two answers to that. Number one is yes, and number one is no. From a financial perspective only, okay? If you go, to the accountants, if you go to your finance people, and you look at the equation for ROI, right? So what is ROI to them? Well, it's kind of like the net benefits defined over a very specific time period divided by the initial cost of, say, a project. That's what their ROI would be on a per project basis. So with respect to BCP, business continuity planning, the answer is no, as it relates to the finance model of ROI. And here's why. Because, as this chart shows, your initial planning for business continuity and disaster recovery is up front. But long term, which is basically in perpetuity, goes on forever and ever and ever. There's always maintenance, there's always updates, there's always things happening, things changes with your BCP, within BC, business continuity planning, or business continuity management. Think of it either way. It always changes. So there is no defined time period with respect to a specific project deliverable when it comes to an financial calculated ROI. However, the answer is yes, if you look at it from a value perspective. Okay? So think of it this way. If you're a business continuity professional, you're working for a company and you're trying desperately to get a seat at the table and get people to listen to you, think of it this way. Rarely do key decision makers, executives and so forth, make an entire business strategic or a large tactical decision within a company or a business unit or whatever based upon a financial ROI. There's other factors involved. There's a lot of factors involved, not just ROI. There's regulatory, the impacts in the regulatory area, competition, market competition, right? There's your customer, the impact to your customer base. And there's impact to your investors as well. So they look at all those different variables when they make those decisions, not just the financial ROI. And that's where BCP comes into play, okay? So what is BCP value? How can you turn BCP value into a return on investment value, if you will, with respect to business continuity planning or business continuity management as a whole? So here's what you want to do. You want to be able to leverage your infrastructure, because if you look at a really good BCP model, a good BCP plan, you can effectively and efficiently leverage the infrastructure which is provided to you as a company. You can use other buildings. You can use people for multiple job functions, if you will. Not just the function they're in, but also be part of the business continuity team. You can go out and if you have multiple remote locations, you can use those locations for backup and recovery and workgroup recovery and data storage and all that. So you can actually get a higher return on the investment of your infrastructure with a good BCP plan. Think of it that way. New clients, think of it this way. If you're out there and you're looking at doing business with company A or company B, you got a proposal on the street. There's a proposal on the street, and you're looking at different firms to bring in to talk to. Who would you want to do business with the most? The one that has an effective risk management business kind of program in place, or one who's done absolutely nothing? There's more risk if they do nothing to you as a company and to a business owner. So what you want to do, of course, you want to go with that company who has invested within business continuity and disaster recovery practices. Those would be like new clients, if you will. You want to be able to protect your critical assets, the most critical assets. And what are those critical assets? Those vital and critical assets are your knowledge base, your infrastructure, your knowledge base, your people, your infrastructure, your hardware and your software, all the technologies that support your key revenue streams. And that's what business continuity does. It supports the ongoing availability of your key revenue streams, which are directly tied to your critical assets in your company. And that's a huge value you don't get from a financial ROI. You want to protect your key decision makers in your company, in your business line, from legal impacts, from legal recourse, hence lawsuits, right? You can do that with a strong BCP. And most importantly, once again, is to be able to not only leverage, but protect your assets, whether risk averse or risk averse. So, what do key decision makers, KDMs, want from a business continuity program or business continuity plan? What do they really want? Well, I'll tell you what they want. This is what I want. This is what I did. I want to know, what are my vulnerabilities from the most to the least? What are my risks from my most to my least? I want to know what those are in my business operations on my day-to-days. So I, or my constituents within my line of business, or the other KDMs around me, so I or we can make strong, effective, efficient, financial-driven decisions on where to put our money, okay? With respect to investing in infrastructure, investing in those technology assets, the hardware, the software, the knowledge, and the people. Where do we put our money and why? Well, risk has a lot to do with that in business operations. So what you want to do is be able, as a business continuity professional, is present that information. You can calculate how much is it going to cost my company or my department if we lose that server sitting right over there, or if we lose that application sitting over there, or if we lose this knowledge base in this building over here. If we lose people, we lose assets for, say, 5 days or 5 hours. You can calculate what are my losses. And a good BCP and DRP with respect to business continuity management will effectively manage that for you. Reduce those risks, reduce that downtime. Huge value financially to the bottom line to any company or business unit, okay? So it's really a return on investment value that business continuity comes into play. Not so much as a financial return. There's not a financial return. There's only really a financial return, if you will, call it that, loosely, I call it that loosely, when you're faced with a major incident or disaster, and you can recover like that really quick. Wow, look at the money I just saved, okay? Think of it that way. And that's money in your pocket. That's true value, okay? So there's a couple more things that we're going to hang up for the day on return on investment and value for BCP, and that is, think about a BCP as outwardly facing. I want to take care of my customers. I want to take care of my supply chain. I want to effectively risk manage, if you will, my investments coming in, my investors coming in, people who invest within my channels, within my market, within my business. I want to effectively and efficiently manage and know what my vulnerabilities are so I know where to spend my money. I want to be able to manage effectively and efficiently not only my employees, my knowledge base but also my contractors and their family members, because they're all part of the team. They're all part of the solution that make up and drive your business continuity plan and your business continuity management aspirations. Okay, all those people. Those are the glue that holds it together. And you want to protect those. You want to have asset protection. All that is an asset. Your suppliers, your investors, your people, your knowledge base, your infrastructure, all those are assets that can be effectively risk managed with a good BCP. It's outwardly facing. And it's very much a KDM executive level driven, okay? It's higher level driven, knowledge aware. With respect to disaster recovery planning, it's more mid-management level driven. And it's internal focused. It's internal to the infrastructure, to the technology infrastructure, to your applications, your server, your software, your telecommunication devices, your switches, your routers, your hubs, all that stuff that makes up the hardware, software glue of your operations. That's very internal. That's disaster recovery planning, okay? And it's internally focused. And it's usually managed through mid-level management, director levels, those types of individuals within the makeup of your business unit or your company. So, think of it this way. to finalize, disaster recovery and business continuity plans are set in place really to help you figure out where to spend your money, not only before an incident or a disaster, but post. So let's assume you have one, and excuse me, and your insurance person walks up and goes, well, here's your net profits expected for the next 30 days. Here's your check. Right, here's your check from the insurance company, right? You have your check in your hand. Okay, what do I do with it? Where do I spend it first or last? Why? How am I going to do it? Who's going to do it? Where am I going to get the assets? All that stuff. That's business continuity management. And under that is your BCP action plan and your DRP action plan. Where to spend your money with respect to the insurance that you just received from the incident and or disaster of which just happened to your line of business or your business. That is true value, and that affects your bottom line, short-term and long-term. So, let's be proactive, stay proactive, have yourself a good strong BCP and DRP, move things forward, and with that, we're going to sign off for today. So, I'm James Myers, this is Contingency Now, and next week's topic of discussion is going to be contingency planning vis-a-vis insurance. Kind of where they split, where's the value in one and where's the value in the other, and why you should have both. So we're going to talk about contingency planning and insurance next week. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Bye.